Welcome, Vault Dwellers. My name is Nacho Bidness. We are in the middle of nowhere for the G4XP or Gaming for XP Builder Challenge. G4 is another YouTuber who does a lot of Fallout 4 content. If you like my channel, you'll probably love his. So I will link to his channel in the description below. I will also link to the rules video in the description, but I'll at least try to hit the high points of the rules as I conduct the tour. Now, as of right now, there is no building and no scrapping done at this location. I always like to show places off before I do anything to them. And the first relevant rule is that we can build anywhere. And I chose this location for a few reasons. It's supposed to be a survivalist shack, and as a survivalist, it would be nice to have access to food, and we have access to these pretty much tame gazelles that have escaped from the safari zone. We also have access to open water, and although it's irradiated water and we're going to have to filter it or purify it, it's still better to have access to open water than to have to try and dig a well. Another nice thing about this location is it's got a fairly flat space that we could build on, and it also has access to this road. And in my game, the Nuka World Raiders have all been killed, and that means that we have at least a chance of having people traveling up and down that road and an opportunity for trade. We've also got access to Dry Rock Gulch to scavenge wood and other building materials, and the Galactic Zone to scavenge all kinds of different bits of technology. So that's why I chose to build here. Let's take a look at what it looks like once I'm done. Well, here is our completed dwelling, and I use the word dwelling specifically because specifically that was the word used in the G4 rules video. And I think he used that word because he didn't want to say that we could only do one building. He just was trying to say, I hope, that we're only allowed to build a place for one person to live. Now, I wanted this place to feel very secure even while I'm gone, so there's a number of turrets around here, and you can probably just barely make those out through the sniper scope. But in my mind, it was always the settlers who allowed someone to approach safely when there was turrets around. And with there being no settlers here, how do we approach safely? Now, clearly there's no gameplay mechanic behind that, but I just thought it would be kind of cool and interesting if we could turn these turrets off remotely and approach our dwelling. So I have set up a little switch there that hopefully I just hit. Yep. So now the turrets are off and we can approach safely. Now, the second rule that was in G4's video was actually there was one other one, that there were not to be a complete settlement here with no settlers. So I've just got a Galactron that I quote unquote salvaged from. Oh, leave me alone. Galactron that I salvaged from the Galactic Zone, but he's been damaged. He's got a left leg here that's been repaired and a right arm that's been replaced with a sentry boat arm, but that is my only NPC that's in the area. Now, another thing that G4 said was that this was not to be built using the traditional build pieces. It is, in fact, only supposed to be scrap that we found around the wasteland and hauled back to our survival shack. So we can see that the walls here are built out of refrigerators and scraps of metal and doors and a pinball machine, and there are braces and other reinforcements from the outside because the whole thing's a little bit rickety. And I even have a dining room table here that I used a tilt function out of the Place Anywhere mod, and I thought it was kind of fun. It's like, my guy couldn't even be bothered to tear the legs off of this thing. He just nailed it up against the side of the building. Now, there are a number of pieces here that maybe look a little too large for a single person to carry, and we'll get to that. So, some additional vending machines and boards and other stuff that are holding up the walls. I've got a garden area here because I figure that my sole survivor would try and plant some food outside of his survivor shack. I've also got a bathroom over here because, well, I do a bathroom in every one of my settlements, so I've just kind of walled off a place here, used some cutouts from the Dry Rock Gulch that my character supposedly scavenged from over there, and we've got a lamp inside so that we don't lose our way in the dark, and we've even got some toilet paper, but it still is just an outhouse, so there's a turbine on the top to try and deal with the smell. As far as what's going on the outside of the dwelling here, it's actually starting to get a little bit dark. Let me fix that. That's a little bit better. So, outside of our dwelling here, we've kind of walled off the main entrance a little bit, even beyond the turret protection that we've got. I used the same car models that were in the parking lot over there just to try and make it look like my sole survivor had drug these things over here and put them into position. And he's also stolen the sign from the Grandchester Mystery Mansion to use as part of his wall. Now, I did mention that this kind of looks like some of the stuff is a little too big for one person to carry, and so I've got a trailer here that he uses to haul his crap back with. He's got a hot dog cart in there, and a token machine, and some computers from the Galactic Zone, and you name it. Good haul of scrap that is pulled by my steam-powered tractor. I always kind of felt like steam power should have been something that people would rediscover in the Fallout universe. It's fairly simple, can be done with a fairly low-tech society. So got some smoke effects and even got some cinders coming out of the smokestack there. And I've even put some controls into my steam tractor here. Let's see if we can get down and access these. The bell might be too quiet for you to hear, and with the time of day, you might be trouble seeing that there is a headlight on the tractor that I can turn on and off, and I've even included a horn. So might be a little bit quiet, but yeah, my tractor has a horn to let people know to get the heck out of the way. Inside of our courtyard here, I've got a number of just random bibs and bobs. I've got a water purifier that I actually wanted to show this. I've got a snorkel that comes out to the water here as if we were sucking the water out of the pool created by the broken water mains, and it comes in here and connects into my water purifier, and I can turn that on and off if I so choose. So now it's up and running, and I can fill a couple of water barrels to store some water. Got some hides that were out here in the middle of tanning, some supplies in the boot of this car, as well as a chemistry station that I always put my chemistry stations outside because I feel like that there would be a lot of smell that comes from those that you wouldn't necessarily want inside of your house. Now, as far as power goes here, what I wanted to do was I wanted to look like I was actually stealing power from the Nuka World power grid. So I do have a buried generator here that is buried under the ground, and oh, my game has crashed. I've built too much at this place, and we'll get into that. But while we're looking directly at it, I have a generator that is buried under the ground there and trying to make it look like we're stealing power from this light pole. that comes up to the switch that you can see at the very bottom of your screen. And once we recover from the crash, I'll kind of show you how that works. Here we are post-crash. I do get crashes here because even though this is only a single structure, I went kind of crazy using It Yourshelf and Creative Clutter and some other stuff as far as decoration mods, and thinking that I would be able to just go crazy. I'm only doing one dwelling after all and not an entire settlement. As it turns out, even using those in a somewhat restrained way on a console with a single dwelling like this can in fact cause crashes. So here we are outside the front door, and there is some additional security to deal with. Now, one thing is that I mentioned that I was stealing power from the Nuka World power grid, so I can use that main breaker to turn everything off in the entire structure. But I also have a combination lock on this door. Same lock design as I did for my Starlight Challenge video series. And if I pull the wrong switches or pull them in the wrong order, there are consequences. So the combination is 7, 1, 1, and 3. And if I was to go out of order, I get incinerated, and the saw blade trap activates, and the alarms go off, and everything is horrible. So if we do things in the correct order, we go 7, 1, and 1, and 3, and now we can open the door. And I've used the decontamination arch here as a switch so that I can open the door. And when I come back inside, I can deactivate the arch and the door closes. And when I'd like to leave, all I have to do is step on this floor plate and the door opens and I can get out. Now, it's looking a little bit dim inside here, so let's go ahead and turn on the lights. Alright, another crash. Hang on. Even though this place is not as decorated as I would like, my poor old Xbox just can't take anymore. So let's just kind of look around inside here. It's all just random bits of wood and steel and vending machines and other stuff that make this place up. I do have all of the different workbenches in here, and oh yeah, this is all the logic gates and other stuff that's necessary to make that combination lock work. I've got my workbench in here, and up here we've got my desk with terminal and my handy Nuka World power armor, as well as a weapons workbench and some other tools and things necessary to work on my guns. And over here is my kitchen nook. This is the area that I am probably least satisfied with as far as the amount of decoration goes, but as you've already seen, I already have a lot of trouble with crashes in here, so just kind of had to make do with what I could. I used one of the arena pieces actually as the roof of this particular room. This wall here I thought was kind of interesting. It is just wooden cutouts from various places in Nuka World that I've just kind of bashed together and layered up to make a functional wall. Let's go upstairs and take a look up there. I've got the door here that we can open and close, and a little plant hanging, and this is the upstairs area. I've got a nice lifeguard chair that I have repurposed and rebuilt as a watch chair so that I can keep an eye on people going up and down the road and maybe try and trade with somebody. There's the top of the kitchen, and I wasn't quite satisfied with the profile that this cut, so I used the blue arena piece to make the roof of my bedroom over here. So got a nice bed that I have kind of scrapped together out of some cinder blocks and wood pieces and stuff. I've got the barber chair, and on the outside you might have noticed a wheelchair. That's actually a surgery chair so that I can change my character appearance when I so choose. And over here I figured that it would be nice to be able to turn these turrets on once I was inside so that I could stay nice and safe. So there's a switch there, and basically just got a little XNOR logic gate that I use to run the turrets. So no matter what I do with the switch on the back side here that you probably can't quite make out, but I put a backstop there so stray bullets wouldn't come through here. Anyways, that switch is what I shot at the beginning of the video to turn the turrets off, and no matter what position that is in, I can hit this insulated switch and turn them on and off from upstairs. So that is the entire building, and I am going to advance the clock a little bit. We'll take a look at what it looks like at night, and let's do that right now. Here we are after dark. Not a ton to see that you haven't already, other than it's nicely lit and has a nice warm glow from the inside, but doesn't have a lot shining out from the walls that you can see from a long distance, although you can kind of just get little peeps of light through the window. I think that it's kind of neat that we can kind of peek in through the window there. The spotlight on the tractor is far more impressive after dark, and I think you could actually maybe drive this thing after dark with that big old spotlight shining out like that. Inside looks more or less the same after dark, but I wanted to do a complete tour, and in my mind a complete tour always includes some daytime shots and some nighttime shots. So those pressure plates stick sometime. I don't really know why. If anyone knows why, let me know in the comments. Anyway, that is my survival shack. It is a place with room for just one person, not an entire settlement. It's built out of pieces that are not standard building pieces, and I'm trying to think if there was any other rules to hit, but yeah, I think I've hit all the rules that G4 put in his challenge. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to hit the like button down below. If you didn't like, please tell me why in the comments so that I can try and do better for you next time. Until next time, my name is Nacho Bidness, and I'm saying it's a great big wasteland out there. Let's go have fun in it.